Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. I have the distinct pleasure to be playing with the June kit from Pink and Main. Here is the lovely box that it comes in, and we are going to open up and see the goodies inside. You probably are familiar with this kit already, as I'm a little bit late to the party, but we get this awesome bag that comes with the kit. Everything is inside of it. It's amazing. We get tons of embellishments. This pattern paper here is about the cutest paper and gets me in the most summer mood. It's amazing. So you get a full pack of that, and there's some duplicate sheets in there, which is good because I had a hard time cutting up one because I didn't want to. And then we're going to get some envelopes, an embossing folder, which is super fun. Almost looks like rays of sun. And then this beautiful stamp set here, which I found to be awesome because how big the images were. I loved how big the images were. I think that is so much fun when they're that size. Some wood embellishments, some sparkles, some what look like buttons, some sequins with shells, a little pin, and then some pattern paper. And the pattern paper June color, not pattern paper, sorry, cardstock is, the color palette is beautiful. I love it. Brownstone, Pebble, Fountain, the Bakery, Vineyard, and Sunny Sky, and that's the June color palette here for the kit. So tons of stuff in this kit. I have to say, I've played with a lot of kits. Pink and Main, you are amazing with the amount of stuff you get in this kit. You can actually create all your cards with just what's in the kit, which I think is incredible. So we are going to start by stamping out with some alcohol-friendly inks. And we're going to do that on some 80-pound Nina Solar White. I am going to do some coloring here in this video, and I'm going to make the first two cards, and then our special guest designer is going to make the third card. So that's going to be a lot of fun. She'll even come in here and do her voiceover for you. Right now, I'm getting it nice and stark. I want to make sure that my images are crisp and clean. I love the two images I chose. Now, I stamped out all 5 of these, but I'm going to make the cards with this one and then the lighthouse, the first 2 cards I'm going to make. But I really love how easy to color they are. Sometimes when we get stamp sets, the images are so tiny, I find it a difficult time to kind of enjoy the coloring practice that I need to do. So this is nice because, and they're really unique. I can tell you, I've never seen an ocean scene inside a bottle before. That is a first. So kudos, Pink and Main. So there we go. I'm just coloring this up. Very simple. I've chosen to use my Ohuhu markers, which are an alcohol-based marker. They are very affordable. This is an 80 set for $39.95. If you are on the fence about alcohol marker coloring, I would highly recommend this set. I also have a color chart that I can send you if you do have them or choose to get them. It's a great set for kids to practice on as well. Adia uses them all the time, and you'll get to see some of her coloring at the end. I don't want to say for sure if she uses these or a different kind, but she's been practicing a lot with these as well. Like I said, very affordable, a great jumping off point when it comes to figuring out how to blend. The color chart is a lifesaver for me. I am so glad that I invested the time in doing the color charts for Arteza, for Ohuhu, and for Master Markers because it makes the coloring process just seamless for me. I grab the chart, I pick the colors, I get to work. So I highly recommend that. I have color charts for all 3 of those. I'm happy to send to you. Whatever I have. You can just email me in the About section on my YouTube page is my email contact, so feel free anytime. So here my coloring is pretty much done. I am going to leave that as is. The 2 images I chose also are very easy to cut out, so that was nice. So we're going to move on here to the lighthouse, and I'm going to pick my reds. I did speed this up obviously quite a bit because it took me a while to color in these images, but I don't look at coloring as a chore. I really enjoy doing it. So it's not, and especially the more you're practicing something, the more your confidence gets built and you just are having a good time. That's how I feel about it. I mean, no one ever likes to try things that they're not good at. You know, it's kind of that first step that's the most difficult. At least it is for me. I get real hesitant and I'm like, oh goodness. But I think I learned a few years back that whether I want to learn something or I have to learn something, be it for work or whatever, the faster I jump with both feet in, the better my life is going to be. Because the more I put something off and just hesitate and procrastinate on it, it never ends up well. Really? I mean, I'm not one of those people that says I do better with no time and under pressure. That's not me. I'm a planner. So anyway, don't know how I got off on that tangent. But anyway, I'm enjoying coloring this. I'm picking the shades the lighthouse is pretty traditional. I went with the red and white. You're going to see our guest designer went outside the box, and I love it. And I love that there was no barrier in which she stayed. So it's just great. So you'll see that in a little bit. I am going to take a Lawn Fawn rectangle stitch die, and I'm going to cut down a couple of these pieces here. You can see me working this out. I'm using a Gemini Junior die cutting machine, and I'm going to use some Hillside border dies from Lawn Fawn as well. I love the look of the Hillside when it comes to beach scenes. I think it's just fun and it's easy, and why not? We'll just go for it. This pattern paper here from the kit looks like underwater, so that's what we're going to play up here. And we are going to use the brown and white twine to accent the card. This is not a very busy card, but there are just enough accents I feel on it to give it a little bit of an extra oomph, but not overpower it too much. So once I get that twine, I'm kind of figuring out where I want to lay out all my things. So this cardstock here, I could have used the stuff that came with the kit, but I wanted to save it. And so I just pulled out some of this this is like cheapo, the back of a pattern or a cardstock, what is it called? Like the paper packs, just the cardboard. And I just chose that, and I'm going to place that down. It's going to be looking as if my bottle is kind of stuck in the sand under the water. So that was the goal I was going for. Purple tape just has a problem with me. I don't understand why we can't get along. This purple tape is constantly ripping up my stuff. I'm not feeling it. So if I'm doing something wrong, please tell me, because every time I use it, it rips my cardstock or leaves a mark. And so, I mean, I don't know if I did something to make it upset. If you know a trick, let me know, because I'm all ears. I know the Gemini Junior does smash down our projects quite a bit when it goes through. That's why it cuts so well, but maybe that's the problem too. I don't know. So regardless. Anyway, we're moving on. I'm going to cut down some more of that cheapo cardboard that I have in my stash just so that it matches. And I'm going to cut that just a little bit bigger than the panel I made. This way it'll give a nice little border around it. And I want this to lay super, super flat on this cardboard because I am going to do something with that bottle that could potentially cause warping. And so I want to make sure that that is good to go. I'm going to take a mini glue dot here and I'm going to place it just underneath the anchor. I want to say that I used multimedia matte for the anchor and then the two other wooden embellishments because that stuff sticks like crazy. So I would highly recommend that for embellishments like this. So this is the part I was telling you about that I was going to add a bunch of Nuvo glaze to the bottle because I just wanted the bottle to be shiny. And so I went with the Nuvo glaze. There are other things you can do like clear embossing powder. That would have been good as well. But I just went with the Nuvo glaze and I was super duper happy about that. So here are some close-ups of that card, and here you can see that shine on the card. And so, yeah, I was really happy with the way that came out, especially with that Nuvo glaze. All right, let's move on to the second card here that I made. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm going to pull out an oval die, and I'm going to use leftover pieces from what I was doing from the first card. Notice how I put the purple tape now on the outside. From this point forward, I will be putting the purple tape on the parts that I don't want to use for my project. So I put it on the inside of the oval and the outside of the square. And this way, when I try to take off the purple tape, if it rips something, it's not going to be the part of the project I'm using at that moment. So that is my temporary fix, but I'm not going to get back on the purple tape, the soapbox. We're moving on. Okay, I'm using some of that blue cardstock from the kit, and I'm going to cut that down to be my background. And you can kind of guess what I'm doing here. I am pulling together a little scene inside that oval, but I wanted everything to match and line up. I'm going to take some Bertech foam tape, and I am going to line my square or rectangle oval, and I'm going to line that because I want that to pop up just a little bit so that the picture inside sits down inside the oval, and sort of not really inlay die cutting because they're not going to match up, but just a nice little dimension look, if you will. So I'm going to make sure that's nice and lined up, and then I'm going to start putting down with some glue all. Now I chose the Elmer's glue all for this because there's lots of wiggle room, and I want to get this positioned just right before I commit. With art glitter glue, this one, there's less wiggle room, although I can still shift it a tiny bit. With the Elmer's glue all, I can move that bad boy any which way I want until it is exactly where I want it to be. This was much easier though because I kind of figured where I wanted my lighthouse to land. So I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to add some Elmer's glue all to the back of the blue cardstock, and that's going to go on top of another piece of kind of a craft cardstock. And that's going to just frame that out a little bit. And you can see somebody's coming in on the right-hand side of this frame, getting ready. So that is it for this card. And I'm going to show you some close-ups here of this card in just a second. And notice that I added a sentiment just like I did to the first card, although I don't show you how I did the sentiment. Very simple, white embossing on a black piece of cardstock. So that will do it for this one after I get this done on the 110-pound Nina Solar white card base. So here are the close-ups for this card as well. Loving all that shadow look. Really just happy with the way that this came out. This kit is so much fun. All right, so this is our guest designer, Adia. She will take you through her card and how she designed it. And here we go.
Hi everyone, my name is Adia and I am Mary Polanco's daughter. I'm very proud of that. I am somehow cutting a frame with the a background frame with a die cutter with curvy line. I don't know what they're called. That in the end I end up not using. I don't know why I wasted paper. Anyway, I am stamping out a lighthouse from a stamp set my mom got from the seashore. No, she didn't get it from the seashore. It's the stamp set called that. And I'm going to use Ohuhu markers to color the lighthouse. Now, this lighthouse may not be anything you have seen, because it's from my creativity, not a boring old lighthouse my mom does, with red and white and more white and red. But it is going to be a surprise. The Ohuhu marker color chart is very useful. Well, any color chart is useful, because then you don't have to write it down on paper. Never ever look at the caps. They are lying. I colored the purple on the biggest in the first one because that's my favorite color. Any shade of purple. Any shade of purple. And I realized as soon as I colored the purple, because I was going to color the whole lighthouse purple and white. But then I realized as soon as I colored the purple that there were 6 other columns. And plus the purple, there are 7 colors in the rainbow. So I wanted to color my lighthouse a rainbow color. Not the lighthouse is not a rainbow, but a rainbow color. As you can see, I wear my watch even in my jammies. Hopefully I don't sleep in it because my dad says it'll poke my eye out. Which I don't get. Oh yeah, now I do. Pink is my second favorite color, blue third. I don't know why I'm saying this, sorry. I like the Ohuhu markers mostly because of the short tips. I mean, the master markers, yeah, I like them, but the brush tip makes it go out of the lines when I'm using it. I don't know, because my mom said that brush tips are very popular, but the Ohuhu markers is the kind of markers I like because they're short and they don't go out of the lines. Also, what's a color you know that matches with purple? Like, I know gray matches with purple. Also, nah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I keep on saying Sorry, I'm nervous here, guys. Soon as I'm done coloring the lighthouse, I am coloring the light now. The light. And the light is shining, and since I don't know how to make, like, not a 3D dimension, but, like, the light is actually shining, I don't know how to do that. You know that thing I just did with my finger? I did not know what that meant. I completely forgot from the other nights before. Now, I'm trying to figure out which side the lighthouse matches on, and I found out that it matches with none. Because that side right now it's on is like a rained on window. Like a window that's rained. Now, see how I'm coloring the seashell? Yeah, that's what it's called. Seashell with the adhesive mark. No, adhesive? No. The embossing powder marker. I don't know what it's called. And I drew on it. And I'm going to heat emboss the whole shell. So, like, some of the colors is going to be gold. The other colors is going to be black, glittery black. And the last color is going to be like the blue that came with it. I forgot. Is it like a blue seashore ocean? And again, I'm using the, I forgot what it's called again. Embossing powder marker. I still don't know what it's called. So I can, this is the seashore blue I was talking about. Just like 5 seconds ago. This is my favorite kind of black, the sparkly glitter black. It's not really black if it's glittery. It's like a midnight with all the twinkling stars, to me. See? After I heat emboss it, it looks a little messy, but it also looks very pretty to me. I didn't use any markers, and, well, pretty. Now I am fussy cutting it, and my mom did not cut it out. It is zooming in to see the beautiful seashell I did, even though some people might not call it beautiful. I am cutting off some peach paper that I will not use again. See, I changed it to a brown. But the brown I'm going to cut off to look like a hill, like sand dunes in the desert, except it's right next to the beach. So it looks like a beach, a lighthouse on top of an island. I'm not going to spoil it, sorry. Anyway, I embossed it with the embossing ink, with the master marker, I think. And my mom said that she got this sand embossing powder a long time ago, but she never got to use it, so she said it was great that I was going to use it, and I was like, yay! And that's why I ended up not using the rainy window scene in the background. While I am gluing this on, I am then taping the back of it. Well, afterward, I am going to, no, I think I already did it. I am going to pop up the lighthouse. Yeah, I am popping up the lighthouse, which is very easy since they're all rectangular. I am sorry that I'm not talking a lot. I'm just getting nervous because I don't know what to say. Being totally honest. Okay. I'm taking forever to put it down because I wanted to make sure nobody could see the white spots. And I am putting these gems my mom also got in the kit. And the sentiment that I'm about to stamp and emboss in embossing powder is called okay, I won't spoil it. My beautiful, beautiful black. Now that heating tool is actually very hot. Oh, yes, it says, I sure do think you're amazing. Yep, it says, I sure do think you're amazing. And did you see that vacuum, that little vacuum? That was my mom. Since I spilled embossing powder all over the counter where you can't see it. Oh, and you see those green pieces of tape? That was so I wouldn't go out of the frame. So then you couldn't see any of my work, which would be very boring. I am putting sequins on it, which I am putting a lot of detail. See those the two big globs of glue? It's because of the shells that I will put there. See, one shell, and then I'm gluing it around so it doesn't come off. And then press it down with a block, the other shell. And then I'm squishing it down, which I have no idea why, because then I'm going to break the shell. I put a lot of detail on this card that I did not need. Just like I'm about to put Nuvo drops, along with gems and sequins and 2 shells and sand, colored sand. And for the big finale, a rainbow-colored lighthouse.
All right. So that's it, right? Voiceover done?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. How'd she do, everybody? I'm going to have to listen to it in a little bit. So here are some still shots of all of our cards together. As you can see, Adi and I have very different styles, but that's what creativity is all about. Correct? Correct.
I think.
No, it is. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget to head over to Pink and Main. Check out their newest kit. It's so much fun. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this one is going to be begging me to make more cards, and possibly a live coming soon.
Oh, that's what the company was. I said a bunch of thingamabobbies.
Well, we used a bunch of different products, right? You did on your card.
Yeah.
But it was Pink and Main's kit.
Yeah.
Okay, this is side convo we probably shouldn't have here on the voiceover.
All right, sorry.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.